And welcome back. Now, I'm not going to lie, out of all the runs that I'm doing for this marathon, this is the one that has me worried the most. Because you wouldn't suspect it, but this is actually kind of RNG heavy. And also requires some pretty precise shooting.
1993.
But nevertheless, we're gonna give it a shot. Get it? Shot? Super scope? Now, this is the most important part of the run. Good. So, the reason this is called Tornado is because you can actually choose between two different STs or standing tanks when you play this game. The Falcon is the regular one, and the Tornado is the attack-heavy one. You sacrifice half your defense, but instead of a 3-tier laser targeting system, you can go to 10. Alright, so my keyboard is actually on the other side of the room, so I'm going to give myself a 10-second run off, and then start this one. Also, I apologize if I don't talk too much during the fights, but I really need to focus for some of these. The first guy's pretty simple, and assuming he gives me the right attack pattern, because movement and attack patterns in this are kinda random. But assuming he gives me what I want him to, you'll see a demonstration of how every ST has many different points that can take damage, and that can be blown off. That was perfect. By the way, if there are any brave souls out there, brave, generous souls, donate $1 for every explosion. Now this next person, their weak point is their tail, but their tail is a very small target. So I'm gonna go for it, but I may have to use backup strats if things don't go well. Also, that sound you hear is me mashing the fire button to skip dialogue. Alright, he moved around a bit more than I wanted him to, but we got through it, that's what counts. The B that you see is a bomb, and I'm not going to use any bombs for the first few fights, because I want to save them for what happens later. But you can fire individual tiers of your laser charge, or you can fire all of them at once, and it becomes more powerful and basically functions like the bomb. There's a quick kill for this guy, but requires a very precise timed shot, and I don't know if I'm going to get it, but we'll go for it, because it's worth it either way. Okay, we didn't get the quick kill. It's possible to hit the joint of the shield arm and blow it off, and that almost completely kills it. Then you just do like 1 or 2 single tier shots and it dies. You can do that fight in under 10 seconds if you get everything to work out for you. This guy, I'm trying to use a trick where... oh wait, that's the next fight. Never mind. This guy, his attack pattern is pretty consistent, but I need to hit very small targets, namely the horns on his head. So we'll see if this works out. I could easily die on this guy. Got it. So the dialogue for this guy is basically, you're gonna burn up in the atmosphere with me, and we go, well, we can just fly away from here. And he goes, ah, damn it. So the pilot in the lower right is Carol, and she's from a planet called Eltoria, I believe? And we're her co-pilot. We're controlling the guns, she's the one who moves around. So this guy, back to what I was saying before, you can use a trick where you can charge your laser and preserve the charge by launching a bomb, and then have your charge continue to build as the bomb is exploding. I'm going to try and use that to do a faster kill method on this guy. That was all damn near perfect. Also, the max amount of bombs you can carry on your character is 5. And we have that. So I'm going to start using bombs every battle. This guy is what would have been the first phase of the final boss in Battle Clash, which this game is the sequel to. But fortunately, we don't see his second phase. That said, this guy could still easily kill me. I'm going to try and go mostly for body shots, but see if I can destroy one of his shoulder joints as well. Because if you destroy the shoulder, you get a damage bonus because it takes the arm with it. Alright, didn't get the destroyed arm, but that was an otherwise pretty good fight. So from this point on, all of the STs up till this guy, you could practice against in time trial mode. From here on out, it's just a crapshoot. And the next guy in particular is my least favorite fight in the game. He kills so many of my runs. He has a very obvious weak point that you aren't supposed to shoot because A, it doesn't do that much damage, and B, it triggers a second form where he just spins around and fills the screen with bullets and you pretty much die all the time. I'm gonna try and see if I can avoid that happening. But I'm probably gonna die here. Okay. Oh, that was close. If those shots would have landed, I would have died. So, if you die to certain enemies, you'll usually get other items that aren't bombs. Or if the fight goes over a certain time limit. Like, here the fight went too long, so he gave me a disruptor bomb. That's a problem, because it forces an inventory thing to open up before each fight, and that wastes like a couple seconds each time. This guy has a shield that can absorb your charge shots. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire a single tier charge, and then when it's done absorbing, I'll fire a bomb at it, and then a high tier charge shot at it to destroy it. Okay, that wasn't as fast as it could have been. You can kill this guy in like 13 seconds if you get everything to work just right, but I'll take it. If I'm still alive, it's a good run. Oh, this is my second least favorite fight because there are 4 small moving targets you have to hit. The thing can absorb your shots kind of like the shield of the last person, but if you aim low enough, it won't absorb it. So I'm going to try and hit the very bottom of this thing with a max charge shot. Ah, damn it. Okay. We can work around this. You're allowed to continue at each robot. Missing those shots right at the beginning of the fight really screwed me over. Because one of the targets was practically off screen at one point. Got it. That can be a tricky fight. I have one less bomb than I would like for this, but that's more so like an insurance bomb. So this guy is going to be very similar to the Thanatos fight from earlier, but he's going to have a second phase. When he splits off into 2 mirror images, I'm going to use a bomb to determine which one is really him, and also build up a higher tier charge. Okay, good. You want to finish this fight with as little health loss as possible. For 2 reasons. 1, there's a phase 2. 2, you get a health recharge going into it, and the less damage you've taken, the faster that recharge is. If you take like as much damage as you possibly can, the recharge takes about 2 seconds. Now the setup for this one is a little tricky. He has various pods that will open up on his body. And what I'm going to try and do is fire a bomb to preserve a high tier charge shot, while doing as much damage as possible to the joints connecting each pod, as well as the central pod. Because if you defeat the central one, the whole thing just collapses and you win. We'll see how this goes. Oh, by the slimmest of margins. Now, the downside is we're actually set up pretty bad for what happens next. So, that angelic being you saw before, that's our sister. Her name's Rolla. And she's like, well, this is done and dusted, we can go back home now. But then she gets caught by the real big bad. By the way, there's a voice credit specifically for that scream. Hashtag Stacy Peterson. Now this next fight is incredibly annoying. We're getting the lightning bomb, which lights up the entire area, because this fight is going to take place in the dark. He's got his main ST, which I don't really like calling it an ST because it's not really robotic at all. But you have to destroy all the pods surrounding him first. We're just going to be kind of shooting around in the dark with bombs, trying to hit these things, while keeping our laser tiers pretty low. Alright. So after 45 seconds, if you haven't destroyed all the pods, he'll automatically open his weak point. Now, if you don't shoot that fast enough or with a strong enough shot, it'll one-hit kill you. Now, this is ordinarily where I would ask, save or kill Rolla. And this is more intense than Super Metroid, because rather than just abandoning someone and leaving them to die, you actually shoot them. And I'm going to try and save Rolla for this. Which, the strategy is not as impressive as you'd think it would be. You'll see what I'm talking about. Let's just say that if you hold down turbo, it's machine gun fire. And, this thing absorbs any laser tier charge shots you try to do. So, time. Okay, so when he's in skull form, he's completely vulnerable to charge shots. Which is why I started doing that near the end. Otherwise, he'll absorb it and regain health. Now, another reason Save or Kill is more meaningful than Super Metroid. There's this dialogue sequence you do not get if you just kill Rolla. Also, it affects what song plays during the ending credits, and whether or not you see like a detailed sprite of yourself and Rolla flying off into space at the end. This game is nuts. Yeah, this is... like, Battle Clash isn't as bad because that's more predictable. But this one is really nerve-wracking to try and run. Like, I almost did not suggest this for Racing to Hell, but... because this is actually the first time I have run this game at a marathon, and I am thrilled that it went as well as it did. By the way, anyone out there matching the amount of explosions, like $1 for every explosion, pay up. But, I'm going to set up right now because I still have one more game after this. And, it's more shooting, but instead of robots, we're gonna switch over to zombies. You know, just for a change of pace. I will be right back.